G'day guys and gal. You know, despite its title, Warhammer 40k doesn't have a huge variety of Warhammers in it. It does, however, have a metric splooge load of guns, which coincidentally is the topic of this video. God damn, I'm not very funny, am I? Whether you're burning, shredding, warping, zapping, exploding, or eviscerating your enemies, there is a gun for every situation. Guns are like wieners. It's not how big it is, it's how you use it. Or at least that's what you tell yourself on those long winter nights. Some of the guns on this list are just neckbeard versions of real-life guns, whilst others involve physics-defying technology. There is even a couple spicy, miscellaneous unique guns, such as the Neural Shredder, which I'll be saving for towards the end of the video, so make sure you watch all the way through. Gotta get that succulent watch time, you know? Before we get started, my god, you guys are demonic. Since planting down my flag and issuing my war cry against One Mind Syndicate, you've come out in full force. You've slapped that subscribe button more times than I've watched orgy porn. We have skyrocketed, and now the end of those wiki reading simpletons is nigh. One final push, guys, to put them behind us and set our targets on a new, more epic foe. Oh yeah, and I guess we're about to overtake 40k theories as well, which is, you know, it's pretty cool, I guess. Let's do it, guys. Not for you, not for Timmy, but for my superficial and likely unhealthy ego. Today we'll go over each of the guns that the Imperium uses, ranging from the most common of the las guns to the most unique of web pistols. As a rule, all the guns I'm mentioning here have to be portable and wieldable by, at most, a Terminator. Hence I won't be talking about the guns on a tank or a Titan. If you want to know about those guns, then don't worry Chich, I got you covered. Let's get into it. When starting off a list, it's always important to start hard and fast and hot, just like other things in life that you wouldn't know much about. Hence we have the Flamer, which, you guessed it, is a flamethrower down to a T. However, instead of using diesel or petrol, the Imperium uses promethium, which sounds really bad, but it's more or less just space napalm, which I guess is actually quite bad. Hence, if you're unlucky enough to survive the horrific burns of a flamer, then the toxic chemical that was set on fire and thrown at you will eat into your flesh and poison you. Definitely not ideal. I'm not sure how the Imperium pulled it off, but they also invented the hand flamer, which is exactly what it sounds like. Not really sure where they store all the fuel for it, or you know, maybe it's just kind of like a one-shot kind of gag, but I guess when all you need is a few drops of the fuel to kill someone, you don't really need more than one. On the other end of the spectrum, we have the heavy flamer. You'll notice a pattern with a lot of the guns on this list. The majority of them have a big brother counterpart that is usually hauled around by space marines. The heavy flamer is bigger, badder, hotter, and can blow its load further. It's the guy your girl tells you not to worry about. The promethium in them is also generally more powerful and will have an easier time melting through armor, or flesh. The last of the flamers on this list is the incinerator, which while it sounds like the magnum opus of the flamethrowers, it's pretty much just the exact same as a heavy flamer other than the fact that its promethium fuel is blessed and does extra damage to demons. Why use holy water when you can use holy fire, am I right? Now we have everyone's favourite stock standard pew 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 gun, the las gun, affectionately called the flashlight on the tabletop due to how shit it is. Things actually do pack a punch. A single shot, you know, in the lore, is enough to blow off your limb in a shower of gore. It would be pretty fucking embarrassing for you if the last thing you heard was pew 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 before half your torso goes missing. Despite laser technology sounding like complex and dangerous, the lasgun is unbelievably reliable. Like, if you can't find a USB port to charge this, then you can literally chuck the power unit in a campfire and the heat will recharge your gun. Nice. As I said before, everything has a pistol version, and the lasgun is no exception. Hence we have the las pistol, which is a smaller, shittier version of the lasgun. It also goes pew 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 pew, but I like to imagine in like a cuter and less threatening way, even though it could still blow you limb from limb. Finally, we have the daddy of the las cannon. While las guns are like flashlights, las cannons are like cannons that shoot out laser beams. Look, I'm really hungover and my brain isn't capable of making clever comparisons at the moment, so just deal with it. Interestingly enough, whilst the las guns suck at damaging anything with armor, the las cannon is an anti-armor weapon, but I guess with a big enough laser beam you can make it do whatever you want. This weapon is huge and can only be carried by a space marine. Guardsmen who wish to fry some fuckheads with a las cannon will need to wheel it around in a weapons team. Getting a little bit heretical now, we have this strangely named Hellgun. Odd thing for a super religious, superstitious empire to call a perfectly good weapon. It's basically a lasgun on steroids, allowing for a girthier laser beam that has a lot more penetration capability. Because of it being better, it's more expensive and rare, hence only the tippity top of the guardsmen get to use it, such as the stormtroopers or grenadiers. And then, there's the Hell Pistol. If you need me to tell you what that is by this point, then you're a fucking idiot. One thing I do respect about the Imperium is their sensible naming conventions, for the most part. A good example of this is the Melter Gun, which is a gun that melts shit. It works by shooting out a torrent of intense heat, which is super effective against armor. Getting shot by one of these would be like getting shot with a microwave. Like the radiation waves, not like someone firing a metal box at you. You get what I mean? Then there's the Multi-Melter, which you get by slapping another barrel on a melter gun and voila! You now have a way heavier, way beefier weaponized microwave. This big boy can only really be used by big-ass flaming space marines or nuns with guns. The pinnacle of the melter technology, and one of the most rare weapons in the Imperium, is the Inferno pistol. Unlike how most pistols are just small shit yet portable versions of a weapon type, an Inferno pistol packs all the punch of a melter gun in a nice tight and portable way. As a testament to the power of these weapons, Dante blew the Swarm Lord, the greatest of the Tyranids, to Kingdom Come with a couple shots from his trusty Inferno pistol. While the las guns go pew 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 pew, the plasma guns go... How the fuck does a plasma gun go? The point I was going to until my crippling autism rudely interrupted me is that plasma guns in 40k are no joke. Using some fantasy science involving magnetics and a miniature sun and blah blah, the Imperium has created a weapon that can fire superheated balls of death. The drawback to having a mini sun in a gun is that it has the potential to overheat, causing the user to tragically die. More recent iterations of the gun have sought to minimize the risk of instant accidental suicide at the cost of a reduced fire rate, but honestly, whatever you shoot at should only need one shot to bring down. And yes, it has a pistol variant that is often seen as the Astarte sidearm of choice, especially for officers. Getting a bit spicy now, we have the Grav Gun, which specializes in non-lethal capturing of enemies, although you can definitely make it lethal if you want. Basically, this gun jizzes out graviton particles, which can either increase or decrease the weight and mass of an object. Increase the mass of a person and they will struggle to move. Increase it a lot and their bones and organs will crack and rupture. You can also use it on buildings or bunkers, causing the structure's integrity to be fucked as it now weighs 3 times more than it's supposed to. Once again, there is a pistol variant of this weapon. Onto a practical gun now, we have the Combi Grav, which is a bolter gun sticky taped to a grav gun, meaning you can make a heretic's balls weigh 300 kilos while bolting them to pieces. If they ever figure out how to make a combi sniper, then it would really unlock a lot of prank potential. The Imperium employs the use of missile launchers. It's exactly what it sounds like. I feel like me explaining it would just be condescending for both of us. The opposite to the friendship cannon, we now have the assault cannon. This self-reloading death machine makes miniguns look like pea shooters. I almost couldn't include this on this list due to this cannon being mostly used as a vehicle-mounted weapon, however some hardcore Terminators have been known to carry these around on occasion, so it's allowed. Not as fun as the assault cannon, but still deadly, is the autocannon. This is basically a bolter that mortals can use. If a guardsman tried to use a bolter, the recoil would shatter their bones, hence they instead opt for the autocannon. It's a light machine gun, I think that's the best way to put it. Although it seems like guardsmen only really use las guns, that isn't the case. The autogun is a broad term for any ballistic weaponry in the Imperium, and these guns pretty much function exactly like our modern day guns. It used to be commonplace for them to have explosive rounds, but due to an angry bold man having a midlife crisis, the knowledge to make those rounds has mostly been lost. An auto pistol is the most pistoly of pistols. It's a handgun. Now onto a bit of a fan favourite, we have the bolter. Only usable by Space Marines and Sisters of Battle, these huge guns have unbelievable caliber, capable of ripping through enemies with ease. If you somehow survive being shot by a bolter, then 2 things happen. Firstly, ouch. Secondly, that round is about to blow up, son. Yes, once a bolt round embeds into its target, it explodes. You'll wish you didn't survive the original shot. Whilst the bolt gun does come in pistol form, its more interesting variant is the heavy bolter. You definitely aren't surviving the initial shot of this one, I'll tell you that much, chich. Even the kinetic energy of a heavy bolter shot flying past you would be enough to crack your bones and fry your organs. These things make an absolute mess. This next gun has a pretty funny name, called the Exodus pistol. It's used only by the Vindicare assassins when they need to exit the area after killing their target. It's unclear if it's like a Glock or if it just shoots one big ass bullet that ruins your tits, but either way, if it's a gun that only Vindicare assassins use, then it's a bloody good gun. The Vindicares also employ the use of a unique sniper rifle called the Exodus rifle, named so as when you are shot with this rifle, your soul exits your body. Yeah, sure, let's just go with that reason. This rifle comes with a number of different ammunitions, such as the shield breaker rounds, hellfire rounds, and my personal favourite, the turbo penetrator rounds. Nice. Now we have the heavy stubber, which honestly looks outdated even in comparison to real life, but the best part about guns is it doesn't matter if it's 1 year old or 100 years old, they can still fuck you up. It looks like a World War II trench mounted machine gun, and is often found in the hands of Chaos cultists because those fuckheads are too poor to be able to afford real guns. The precursor to the autocannon, we have the Reaper autocannon, which sounds way more powerful and badass than a normal autocannon, but just isn't. Sharing a similar aesthetic to the heavy stubber, this deliverer of death is often used by Chaos Terminators because they too are poor as shit and can't afford normal autocannons. Next up, it looks like a Tommy gun, but it's called the Ripper gun. This old-fashioned mobster blaster is used by the Ogrins and is more or less just a fully automatic combat shotgun. This works really well for Ogrins because it means they don't need accuracy to fuck up the bad guys. They're also built extremely sturdily, as once the Ogrins run out of ammo, which takes like 5 seconds, they run in and use the gun as a makeshift club. Nice. Ha! Would you look at that? It's 40,000 years in the future, but these dudes still have shotguns. Although you can happily take this into a war zone, they're generally used by the Adeptus Arabites for crowd control. Not the most humane way to put down a protest, but it's wildly effective. On top of shotguns, 40k has basic handguns called stub guns, as well as other basic ass weaponry that is just a copy paste of modern military guns. Halo and Warhammer do share some themes. Super soldiers, evil Xenos, a monstrous parasite that wants to devour your biomass, and a distinct lack of graphic sex scenes. They also share the Needler. Whilst Halo's version of the Needler is a lot more colourful, the 40k version is just as badass. Basically, it's a gun that shoots a laser which cuts through armour and clothing before then shooting a poison needle through where the hole was created. I don't even know how that works from a practical standpoint, but don't question it, just enjoy it. Now this is where the fun begins. These next couple weapons are very unique and wild. First up is the conversion beamer, which turns you gay. As a side effect, it also fires a beam of pure energy that converts whatever it touches into more energy. Onto the neural shredder we talked about at the start of this video. This weapon is exclusive to the Kalidas assassins, and it targets your neural system, causing you to seizure, enter great agony, or just become severely retarded. Or all of the above. It's definitely a dickhead move to use this weapon. And finally, we have the Weber guns, which shoot out webs. Yeah, I'm not kidding. It sounds dumb, and it is dumb, but this is 40k. The Weber guns are generally used to arrest criminals, and for crowd control when the Arbats decide that shotgunning the fuck out of everyone isn't a good idea. The Weber comes in a pistol and heavy variant, with the only differences being how much of the white sticky substance is blown onto your enemies. Oh, I'm such a fucking child. The Imperial man has a lot of guns for a lot of situations, and I for one would hate to be shot by any of them, especially not the neural shredder. That can eat a dick. And that does us for today, guys. Every single Imperial gun explained. If you enjoyed the video and want to support the channel, then Patreon is the place to be. Only $1 per month give you access to a boatload of Warhammer hentai. Hit the subscribe button, then hit the real subscribe button for more blasty content. Join the Discord for more memes, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.